Hey there everyone, Dr. Beth Westy here, and I am here continuing part 2 of how to break a plateau. So this is something that so many women struggle with. I chat with women every single day that are stuck, that are frustrated, that are like, ugh, I'm doing all these things. I'm eating healthy. I'm working out. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym even more. I got a trainer. I started this new program, or I tried this, Whole30 or clean eating or paleo or keto or whatever, and I felt like garbage and it didn't work. How much more do I do before I find something that really works? So yesterday I did a video where I covered some basic things about how to break a plateau. Hi Heidi! Making sure that you are, hi Adina, getting enough protein, things like that. I'm going to dive a little bit more into a few of these things here, talking about eating for your hormones and intermittent fasting, carb cycling, some extra tips and tricks to keep up your sleeve for whenever you feel stuck and frustrated. Now, I do cover a lot of this information in my book, The Female Fat Solution. I'm working on my next book, which is Nutrition for Female Athletes and Nutrition Timing for Women Who Work Out. So stay tuned for more information on that. I will be covering more of that information also in my podcast, The Female Health Solution. So if you haven't not subscribed to that, do so you do not miss out on a single thing. And I have, Melody, you just got your book. Yay! Awesome, Melody! And I also upload a lot of all my videos to YouTube. So if you are searching for something, you will find it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Dr. Beth Westy. Now, when we talk about eating for your hormones, this is really the basis for my book, and this is the 12-week program in which I work with women one-on-one, really working with their bodies, and meal plan, grocery list, everything else that you need to move you forward towards your goals. The main key point is eating for your hormones. Women have different hormones in their body week to week throughout the month. So if you're eating the same, sometimes that's the biggest thing that you're missing. Again, not that Whole30 is a bad plan. It's not a bad plan. It's just not a plan that's made for women's bodies, because your body changes. What your body nutritionally needs the first week of your cycle versus the third week of your cycle is totally different. Why? Because your physiology is totally different, right? Makes sense. So when you really start to shift your nutrition and focus on foods that are working with your hormones versus working against it, it provides an amazing shift and change in result. For those of you that maybe have heard about seed cycling is eating different seeds during different times of the month because there's certain vitamins in different seeds. I can chat about that or talk more about that if you'd like, but in a separate video, because it really should be dedicated for a whole video. But that's a very similar thing where you're just using seeds to help work with your body. I really encourage women to use their entire nutrition. There are some foods that are warming, some that are cooling, some that are neutral, but there's a lot you can do with just the everyday foods you're eating to really work with your body to get a completely new and different result all the time. Right? It's a choice you make all day, every day, and it's incredible the changes that you can see and feel by just eating for your hormones. Estrogen is different than progesterone, so you should be fueling your body differently for that. You just listened to the Seed Cycling podcast. Yes, Melody, awesome. What did you think? Where can you get the book, Sheila? Yes, Amazon. Yep, my book's on Amazon. Just search for The Female Fat Solution. It'll come up. Yeah, it's amazing. And so there's so much benefit that comes with that. Regulation of hormones, regulation of cycle, decreasing in symptoms, PMS symptoms, all these other things. And your hormones just work more smoothly because they should. Now, another thing too, intermittent fasting, this can help you break a plateau. If you're already doing intermittent fasting, there's different schedules of intermittent fasting you can implement. There's different types of intermittent fasting. I recommend that women specifically do a certain type of intermittent fasting. If you're doing a 24-hour fast, that you're using snacks. Otherwise, it's really hard on your body, on your system, meaning the female body is really perceives any lack of nutrient as stressful, which is going to ruin your results really quickly and easily. Yeah, make it that much harder. So when you're intermittent fasting, make sure you're getting snacks in at the appropriate time. Is it being a female fun? Yes, I roll, totally. but that you're getting those snacks in to make sure you're successful with this. And you know, we'll talk about this later, but again, this is another tactic and a tool that you can always have in your tool belt to pull out when you need to break a plateau. The last one here, carb cycling. Carb cycling is amazing, especially as the body ages and changes. Different hormones actually burn carbs differently, meaning it can be a lot tougher to burn carbs, which means carb cycling can actually help get that started. You should not just cut carbs out of your diet. Now, I have talked about keto and how I do not recommend keto, especially for women. It is not made for the female body to be successful on a keto diet long term. You get a lot of energy from your carbs. Carbohydrates are necessary to upload the maximum amount of protein in your system. And if you stop eating carbs, then your body enzymatically loses the ability to process and digest carbs properly, which means that whenever you do eat a carb, guess what your body will do? Store it. It'll store it for you, never letting it go. You don't want that. You want to be able to burn the food that you eat. You burn it as fuel. Food is fuel. Food is fuel for your body if you're fueling it correctly. If you're not fueling it correctly, it doesn't become fuel. Yes. So carb cycling isn't my favorite thing to throw in now. Now, honestly, total truth, one of my favorite things about carb cycling is that there are days where you eat a ton of carbs. Eat a ton of carbs. Yeah, you just eat a ton of them. And then there's other days where you don't eat a ton of them, right? But then you still have those days coming up again where you eat a ton of carbs again. Yes, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So this is one of the things that I like to do as well, especially with my schedule right now. So I play football for the Minnesota Vixen, which is a women's professional tackle football team. So I am a pro football player. Dr. Patrick Flynn is on. Yeah, he's got a book coming out soon too, which I'm excited about, super excited about. I will post about it when it does come out. So being a football player and being an athlete, it's really hard on your body. It's very important that you're nutritionally fueling yourself properly. So a lot of times I have a hard time when I'm training this much to do intermittent fasting. So I rely on a lot of carb cycling or other tactics just to keep my body fueled and energized as much as it should be while I am training as hard as I train all the time. So yes, there's some days off, of course. Yes, there's rest days where there's making sure that my body is energized enough overall, but there's always different tools that you can use to really work with your body. Now, if you are stuck, frustrated, and you're wondering, oh my gosh, what do I do? I don't know what to do next. This is something that's ridiculous. I guarantee there's information out there. Just look for it and really look for people who focus on information for women specifically. There's just, most of the information out there is geared towards men. Research is mainly done on men. So if you are finding information out there that's geared for women, you really are hitting a jackpot in terms of what's going to be helpful for you and the other females in your life. Awesome, right? Yay! All right, so I'm going to put a link below this video if you have any questions about any of the things I've covered where you're like, I want to know more about that, or wait, I'm not sure about that. You can click the link, schedule a call. I'd be more than happy to chat with you about whatever you're struggling with, because there are so many things out there that you can be struggling with. Laura, how should I transition from a low-carb diet to carb cycling? Ooh, without losing ground on my weight loss. Excellent question, Laura. Yes. Okay. So when we talk about carb cycling and going from a low carb to carb cycling is tapering up and down in carbs. So you're going to go, I won't give amounts, but I'll just go like high, medium, low, right? Days. So if you've been doing low, you're going to start with, say, a low day on day one. You're going to have to gradually taper up. So you're not totally shocking your system in a negative way. Days 1, 2, 3. I just want to make sure we're still going to stick on the screen. 4, 5. So low, and then you're going to increase here, by a little bit. So you want this to be a medium day and this to be a high day. And these days here are days that are in between. So if a low carb day for you is like 60 grams of carb, you're going to want to get, say, raise that by at least 30 grams of carb a day. 90, 120, again, I'm just totally making this up because I'm not sure, if you want, we can chat about what your low carb day is and kind of work up from there. If this was 90, 120, 150, and go up from there. The high carb day you might not be able to get up to before kind of swinging back down around again, but going up and down. And there's other patterns and stuff too that you can do, but essentially you're going to want to go up and then come down. Sometimes for people, it's if you're worried and you're uncomfortable, you kind of go up and then come down here. Go up to here, come down here. Go up to here, come down here, and repeat that pattern. Essentially, you don't ever want to stay at a high or low day too long. You know, a medium day is like a break-even day. You know, if you're like, oh, I got to take a break from this for a few days or the weekend or whatever, right? That's my favorite way to carb cycle. I carb cycle through the week, Monday through Friday, and keep my weekends pretty steady. It also usually works with my training schedule too. But you know, that's a good way to ramp up. You know, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, you know what I mean? Ramp up, and then day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, day 10, day 11, day 12, right? So just kind of go up and down that way. Let me know if that makes sense. Or again, if you're like, hey, explain this to me more, we can always chat about it too. Yeah, just a lot of really great things to have in your back pocket. Yes. Awesome, Laura. Yeah, so just to work out of that carb cycle is important. And again, you're going to see a benefit. I have a friend who actually lost over 100 pounds, and she was mainly implementing carb cycling the entire time, like different rounds of it, different styles of it, all that stuff. And you know, being active, eating healthy as well. But yeah, it's a great tool to have, and I love going through it. Very, very powerful. All right, that's what I got for you guys tonight. Please let me know if you have any questions. Again, if you have not checked out my podcast, please do so, because there is so much amazing information on there. Go back and listen to past episodes. I know sometimes when you get a hold of a podcast, you might see one thing or say, oh, I'm going to listen to this, but go back and listen to some of the other people I've interviewed. I have some amazing interviews on that podcast that I love, love, love. That's what I got for you. I'll put that link below. And if you found this helpful and would click that share button, I would so love and appreciate it, because so many people need to know this information and are stuck and frustrated, and you'd be helping my mission to just educate more women on things that they can do to really work with their bodies to get a better result. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys later.